Hey guys, welcome back to CFL Central, CFL content for the fans, by the fans. So we finally got week 1 of CFL action, regular season. We're finally going to see all those starters coming out, and boy am I excited for this. So every team's going to be playing this week with the exception of the Argonauts, but let's get right into this without further ado. The Montreal Alouettes versus the Calgary Stampeders. All right, so this is going to be our first game of the CFL season happening at, I believe, 8 p.m. tonight, Central Time. But this will be interesting. So, Vernon Adams Jr. finally going to be coming in here for the Alouettes. William Stanback's going to have his chance to shine here, as he really didn't get anything in preseason. So, the question here for the Alouettes is, what all do they have, and what all can they do with the team that they had last year? Because when I say that, I mean that in almost every sense. Montreal did almost nothing this offseason, which is very unusual considering the circumstances of everyone having 1-2-year deals, guys flopping around teams all over the place. Montreal was kind of the one team that didn't really participate in that so much. So I guess the question is that, you know, obviously it seems that they had faith in the guys they had, because that's basically all they did. They just re-signed guys. So, including Trevor Harris, which they dropped, and then chose to re-sign after dropping him. So, obviously there's something going on with his contract there. But the question is, you know, Montreal, I guess here is showing that, you know, the guys they have, they're showing their fans that they were confident with the pieces they had to move forward. So the question is, can they beat Calgary with it? So on the Calgary side of things, Bo Levi Mitchell is finally going to be going in full-time, I expect. If not, it's going to be Jake Mayer. It's one of the two. I expect they're going to start with Bo Levi Mitchell and really hope to see him kind of get going and get up to speed, because when he's up to speed, it can be really extraordinary. He'll be throwing. Reggie Begelton will finally fully be in the lineup, I expect. And with Calgary, it's going to be interesting because they got some stuff to prove. Because I mean, we saw, you know, the press conference of the coach really upset about things. You know, really want to get things going because they feel like they have all the pieces, and you know, to their respect, they kind of do. We'll have to see. Definitely better in the kicking department than almost anyone. But I guess the question we'll see here is all that really relentless offense from Calgary that we saw in the preseason. Is that going to continue? I don't know. But we have game. So we're here. I guess I got to do my prediction. I predict Calgary to win this game. I think this will be Calgary winning quite handily, to be honest. So yeah, that'll be interesting. But second game of the week, Ottawa versus Winnipeg. Alrighty here. So, as you guys know, the Red Blacks and the Bombers actually did not play each other at all last season. So, this will be the first time they play each other since 2019. So, it's been a while. And boy, has this Red Blacks team changed. Obviously with bringing in guys like Darvin Adams, Jeremiah Mazzoli, Jalen Acklin, Ottawa has really revamped their offense from top to bottom, whether it's the receiving core, or their offensive line. They've made a lot of moves there. Ottawa has made a lot of improvements, and I'm curious to see how well these pay off, especially against a Winnipeg Blue Bombers team, which is very much similar to last season. On the Blue Bombers side of things, Zach Collaros is finally going to be going in, despite not even touching the field in preseason. So I guess we'll have to see how long it takes to get him up to speed. Jackson Jeffcoat is out. That is quite a painful thing to say to the Bombers defense. Jefferson will still obviously be there, but I wonder if Ottawa is now going to try to cater to that side. I believe Mock the Third is going to be going in, or Mock 3 or something like that. I can't remember. I don't know exactly how you say it. Something like that. And then Dalton Schoen is going to be going in at receiver as well. So it'll be interesting to see some of these younger guys coming in and what they can do with it. Doesn't look like Dobson's in the lineup. It looks like someone's giving us a phone call. Sorry about that. But yeah, I predict the Bombers will probably win this game. I think it'll be really tight though. So yeah, I'd say Bombers, but really close game. But yeah, moving into our next one, we have the Tiger Cats versus the Rough Riders. All right, here. So, Ticats obviously just barely not winning the Grey Cup last year, but they still managed to keep a decent amount of pieces. But however, they do lose some key pieces here, particular from their offense. With receivers like Jalen Ackland and Brandon Banks being gone, that hurts. That is going to really hurt. Mazzoli is gone. However, it looked like Evans was ready to take the reins anyway, so I don't think that's much of a loss for them. I think they'll be okay. Micah Johnson at D-line is, one of their more notable players that you should be keeping an eye on, as well as Simone Lawrence. He's proved that he is a very big staple of that Ticats defense at linebacker. And so I think that I think it'll be interesting to see how those guys kind of step up, especially because the defense will now have to step up a bit that the offense has weakened, because the offense is going to be able to put up enough points. Hamilton, when they're going to be winning these games, they're gonna try to have these games as low scoring as possible, I imagine, just because of the hindrances that they've had on the offense. However, on the Riders side of things, it'll be interesting to see how Fajardo adjusts to after a long offseason. More at receiver will be, probably one of the more notable guys he'll be throwing to. And the interesting thing I find is actually at the Riders' kicking position. So Lothar is going to be going in as their starter. However, I was very impressed with Nell in preseason. So I think that's a very good thing for the Riders to have in their back pocket if need be, Say one gets hurt, which is unlikely with kickers, or even if they decide to even move someone just to get draft picks or whatever, depending on depending on their performance this season. They have a lot of options at the kicking position, and that definitely is going to be good leverage over teams like the Bombers, who have almost no one at kicker. So, it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I predict that probably the Rough Riders will win this game. I think as good as Hamilton is, I don't think that I don't think they're beating Saskatchewan this week. I think Saskatchewan's got that locked up. But yeah, we'll go into the last game of the week, which is Edmonton versus BC. So Edmonton comes into this with Arbuckle or Cornelius. Who's going to be starting? Not sure, to be honest, because it kind of looked in preseason they really didn't show who was going to be like. They played both of them in preseason. However, it was not obvious. Maybe Nick Arbuckle goes in. I'll be curious to see, though, now with Kenny Lawler there. Obviously, they signed him for a ton of money. The question is he going to be able to keep up those stats that he put in Winnipeg? My guess is probably not. However, that's not by a ton. I think that he'll mainly be hindered by that he was playing on, the Elks. The Elks, who sadly was the other team that didn't do a ton this offseason. They were the team in the West that didn't move much. However, I guess the thing that's interesting here is this makes you question, how much of Kenny Lawler's amazing season he had last season was because he was getting thrown to by Zach Collaros, because he had that offensive line giving Zach Collaros all that time he needed to make those perfect throws. And how much of it is his own skill? Obviously, a lot of it is his own skill. There's no doubt that he's an extremely talented player. But I guess the question is under these new circumstances, how is he going to perform? I'm actually really interested to see that. On the BC side of things, this is finally when Rourke gets to take the reins over Mike Riley, obviously retiring at the end of last season. Rourke is going to be going in, and he's going to be getting... He's the man this season. Let's see how this goes for BC. BC, interesting about their home opener, and this is something Jake mentioned, we're going to actually have some footage of this, is that One Republic is actually going to be playing at the home opener. So interesting thing for BC to look to get fans in the stadium. Smart marketing, I say, as the Lions, sadly, attendance has dwindled quite a bit. And that's not according to me. That's according to Jake, who lives there. So it'll be. I hope that BC really gets their attendance going. Just because their new owner sounds really motivated to get this team going, which is always exciting to hear from an owner. However, the conversation shouldn't just be about Rourke. It should also be about the guys he's throwing to. Obviously, Brian Burnham and Lucky Whitehead being the two most notable ones. Whitehead resigning for $200,000 contract, which was the biggest receiver contract in the CFL at the time before Lawler signed about a week later. And I think they have him locked up for 2 years. I could be wrong. So, smart move by BC by getting this guy locked up long-term. Whitehead also being the star returner for them. He's had numerous There have been numerous times where you'd have a kickoff and Whitehead would run end-to-end getting the touchdown. So that is a fantastic thing to have in your back pocket. So I think this will be a real big question on how the BC Lions depth goes up against the Elks depth, and I think the Lions win here. You know, a lot of people have the Lions last in the West. I don't see it. I think Edmonton's gonna be last in the West, but you know, it depends on who steps up. So yeah, I'm gonna take BC here. But yeah, I think this will be a good week of football. It's gonna be great having the starters back and really seeing some proper Canadian football, you know, not just, you know, testing the waters, but a real start to the season. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you guys watch some of the CFL games. Make sure, if you guys are a fan of the Blue Bombers specifically, you check out my content at the No Hockey Podcast. Link to the channel will be in the description. I cover each Bomber game week by week by week. And yeah, make sure you guys tune in for our review of week 1 as well, hopefully joined by Jake. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.